Welcome to Beyond This, where we explore spirit, self, and the spaces in between. I'm your host, Medium Matilda, and each episode we journey into the mysteries of life and the soul, seeking wisdom, truth, and the guidance from both the seen and unseen realms. Ooh, it's a juicy one today. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about perfectionism and how perfectionism can stop progress. We're also going to be talking about, what's happening in Washington. As always, my predictions for the coming weeks are at the end of this episode. But first of all, I want to talk about social media for a second. I know I often go on rants about social media. This week has seen a lot of hype around whatever illness the mango is suffering from, whatever ails him. And I will talk about that, I promise, later in the episode. But the anger that I am seeing play out, now probably not from you, dear listeners, but from people who are projecting their anger onto others, it's really showing who they are. The judgment that is coming down the line, not just about what is happening in Washington. I'm talking about people that just want to upload a happy video. Laurie Rivers talked about this and how creators are really not feeling very creative because of the judgment, because of the nastiness. If you cannot say anything nice, don't say anything at all. And I'm not talking about obvious things that people are trying to get away with. I'm not talking about people that are lying. I'm talking about people that can't keep their gob shut if somebody has spent hours editing a video and the music's a little loud. It does go with being in the public eye quite often. But really, guys, really, I am beginning, and I will be honest with this, if I click onto a comment and I think, God, that's awful, how could somebody actually vocalize making someone else feel bad? If I find that person, if I go onto their profile, because sometimes I'll go onto their profile and I might do a screenshot of one of their posts or their face or something and just put it under their comment. But I will delete them. I block them from seeing my content. If they are following me, I will block them from seeing my content. Get a grip. Get a grip. Social media, and I talked about this about 2 weeks ago, that there's going to be mass cancelling of accounts. We will see that. And the creators on social media go through enough. They put themselves out there enough. Please be kind. Please be gentle. Please boost their content. Say something nice, because it's actually quite sad. And although I've been on social media a little bit more lately, I do find it very overwhelming. And I know I need to make content. And sometimes I'm sat there going, I don't want to. I don't want the stupid responses. Somebody put a comment on my podcast. Predictions are happening very quickly because they're often more in depth from my year ahead. And what I'm noticing is I'll take a year ahead prediction, I'll do a bit of a deep dive, and it happens as I have said in the weeks that follow. And Taylor Swift, I said very clearly within the next 2 weeks there's going to be an announcement. It's not to do with her music. I'd already made the music prediction a week before she announced her new album. And I said, well, I could have told you that. But did you though? But did you? Oh, I'm feeling spicy today. I have a feeling I have to have a good night's sleep. It is currently Tuesday, the 2nd of September already in Australia. There is going to be an announcement at the equivalent of my time at 4 a.m. I'm not sure it's what everyone's hoping for, but it could be he thinks he's going to step down for a short period of time. He's definitely unwell. As I predicted, end of August, early September, we would see his decline, and we would see it would be cognitive and kidney. I will go into my predictions a little bit later. But first of all, let's talk about why perfectionism stops your progress. What is perfectionism? Perfectionism is when we hold ourselves to a high standard. It's often a fear. I have found myself, and I've had to admit this to a couple of friends recently, that my perfectionism has got in my way when enjoying my new home because I want it all set. I'm so used to being able to move into a home and have a home for everything and unpack and sort it all out. And I don't have that luxury here. If you are watching this, you will see behind me, I haven't sorted out any of that because I don't have places to put it, although I've just had storage delivered. Perfectionism, it's not about high standards, it's about fear. Let's talk about perfectionism and the intricacies of perfectionism and what you may believe about your own perfectionism is not actually what you think it is. Perfectionism isn't about high standards. We all, to at some point in our life or other, will hold ourselves to high standards and other people to high standards. But perfectionism is about fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. It disguises itself as motivation, but actually, it keeps us frozen. Spiritually, perfectionism is the ego whispering, if it isn't flawless, don't even start. Spirit, however, wants authenticity. One of the biggest questions I get asked, or maybe it's just the genre of people that are coming to me, are about people that say, I really want to write a book, but I don't know where to start. Just start somewhere. You don't always have to start a project at the beginning and end at the end. You can start in the middle. Just doing something is so important. The thought of writing a book is incredibly overwhelming. But if you are writing it in the view of someone giving you accolades and telling you how well you've done, and I'm writing this book because I'm going to get lots of awards, you're not being authentic. You're not writing the story that you want to write. You're not writing from your heart. Creativity comes from our heart. It should never come from a place of want, greed, or ego. Writing can be about ego when we have to continue a story, but that first book should come from the story that you want to tell. You can start by just writing short stories and letting it flow. It doesn't have to be about making sure every comma and punctuation is in place. There was a trial done, and it was around the time I was in primary school, of teaching children to write phonetically in order to encourage the creativity and stop them worrying about the words that they use because of their inability to spell, because they hadn't learnt how to spell yet. And they noticed that many creatives or creative endeavors were based on perfectionism and the exacts. And that is not what it's about. Being a perfectionism will stop you progressing. It is an illusion of control. Perfectionists believe if they get every detail right, they can control the outcome. And sadly, that isn't the case. All it does is stop you actually starting something. In reality, life is unpredictable, messy, and growth happens in mistakes. And that is something I want you to take on board. Some of the best adventures And best things that I have done and come out of things have included mistakes that I've made. Maybe I've turned left instead of right. Maybe I've sent the email to the wrong person. Maybe I've met the wrong person. Mistakes mean that we are progressing. Progress is born from trying, testing, and adjusting, not waiting for the conditions to be perfect. Projects never launch if we are perfectionists. I know I've done nothing but complain lately about my. I like my office tidy. I like my home tidy. I like homes for everything. And it's meant that I haven't started a few things. But what I've realized in the last couple of days is that I will find a home for everything. I am just adjusting and I am taking a bit longer to adjust. I sound like a child, I know. I'm just taking a little bit longer to adjust to the new living conditions because I'm precious. And yeah, projects never start sometimes. I have a lot of my belongings in my garage at the moment, purely because I've got nowhere to put them until I do a few jobs inside the house. I can't do those jobs inside the house because I'm waiting for fucking tradesmen to actually show up. If you are a tradesman or know a tradesman in central Victoria, hit me up because I am telling you, builders don't show up. They make promises they can't keep. They say they're going to send a quote. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're going to do the other. It never happens. Anyway, I'm on a rant now. And what I was trying to say is that I am trying to sort out my garage because I thought, oh, I'll get all these buckets and then I'll sort through everything that's in the garage, but I need these shelves to put the buckets on, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, I've realized I've got the shelves, I've got the giant blue bags. I'm just going to get it done. And I've also been waiting for it to be a bit warmer. But anyway, projects never launch. You are stopping yourself having success because of your perfectionism. Constant rewriting, reworking, and delays and decisions. Again, you're stopping your progress because you want it perfect. Tell a story. You don't need perfect punctuation or spelling to tell a story. Comparing yourself to others, you will always fall short when you compare yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy, and I will stand by that. You are unique, you are individual, and you have something to offer the world. Stop waiting for someone to judge you on what you have to give. Saying I will do it and setting a time, and the time never arrives. Again, perfectionism. Get it started. Mistakes will happen, but you're going to enjoy it as you go through. There is a big cost to perfectionism that we don't always factor in: the time lost and the opportunities. I get this a lot when people ask me about their dating life. And it's, I'm waiting for till I do the work. I'm waiting until I feel better. I'm waiting till I'm thinner. I'm waiting till I'm fatter. I'm waiting till I look better. I'm waiting till I feel better. All that is delaying. There's always going to be a what if, what if, what if. Burnout and self-criticism. Oh, peoples, please. Do not speak to yourself as if you are speaking to your worst enemy. Be kinder, please be kinder to yourself. We burn out before we start something because we spend so much time setting up the perfect system, the perfect environment, that by the time we've set up the perfect environment, we're too knackered to start the job. Creativity is stifled. We know this. We've talked about this. Your creativity is going to be stifled if you are wanting someone to look at your first draft, your first go, your first adventure, and come to you and say, this is perfect. Because when you are trying to do that, you can lose years, weeks, months, lots of years. I've known somebody wait to write a book decades because they were too scared of the criticism and they were fearful that they were not going to be perfect. Spiritually, perfectionism blocks the flow. Guidance can't move through you if you are constantly editing yourself. I've recently run a lot of courses on how to listen to your guides, and the amount of people that ask, is it my guides or my ego? And I spoke about that in depth. Your ego is going to be perfectionism. Your guides are not. So we must bear that in mind. And if you are constantly editing yourself, how exhausting is that? How can you enjoy the creativity or the flow? How do we move beyond perfectionism? You say? You're telling us all we need to know, all we know already about perfectionism, Matilda, but could you tell us how to move past it? Embrace done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. Set boundaries on your limit revisions and set yourself deadlines. Whether this is a creative project, whether it is a house renovation, whether it is planning a wedding, planning a party, having a baby, meeting a partner, looking for a new job, all of those things need boundaries. Limit the amount of revisions, limit the amount of choices, set yourself deadlines, stick to them, and allow yourself to be a beginner. I often remind my children that this is my first time living too. Remind yourself that, because nobody is perfect. It just sets unrealistic expectations. Spiritual practice for this would be invite imperfection as part of your human experience. That's to have a human experience. It's so important. Progress over perfectionism brings learning. It brings confidence and expansion. If you walk around this world thinking and telling everyone that you know it all, that you've experienced it all, that you are perfect, how daunting and frightening are they? My father always used to tell me he was perfect. And how will you ever learn? And how will people speaking to you ever have confidence that you are listening with an open and non-judgmental ear? Perfectionism whispers that progress comes from polishing. Spirit reminds us that progress comes from presence and courage and movement. The path forward is never flawless. It's lived. So take the step. Send that email, record the video, write the first page. Perfectionism stops progress, but you're willing to begin. And that creates change. And now we're going to give a shout out to our latest Patreon supporters. And I'm going to talk about some events we've got coming up. If you don't know about Patreon, then A, you are missing out. And B, get over there and join it. Patreon is a platform that allows me a lot more freedom. It is also amazing for community. We are incredibly blessed. We have thousands of people in our community. There's no trolling. There's a lot of emotional, personal, and spiritual support from me and everyone else there. I am on live 2 or 3 times a week, extra predictions, extra podcasts, extra videos. There is an opportunity every single month to meet with me on our coffee morning where you get to ask those deep questions, either about current affairs or about spirituality. There's also discounts for all of my readings. The top tier get $100 off a reading, which is a great saving. And discounts also for $15 and up if you want to join the 2026 Deep Dive with Laurie Rivers and I. Laurie Rivers and I have an amazing ability to really dive deep into the when, the where, the how of political, weather, world events, celebrity, etc. Our last event gave over 400 predictions, 200 of which have been proven to come true. That is an amazing strike rate, given that there is still 3 months to go of the year. So on October the 11th, we are hosting a 2026 deep dive, charts and channeling. I will be doing the channeling. Bet you couldn't guess that. Laurie Rivers will be doing the charts. If you are a $15 and up member of Patreon, you get 50% off. So go across now and join up for that. We've also got yearly discount. So if you pay for a year membership, you get a discount. Right, we're going to give our Patreon shout outs now. We have Kristen, Loney, Carissa, Megan, Stephanie Terry, Janet, Michelle Franco Perez, Mary, Taylor S., Lauren, Catherine Marie, Brittany Baby, Alethea, Rose, Dinah, and Anne R. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting this very podcast, because all of your support and subscriptions go to keeping this podcast running. And I will see you on the Patreon chats. So it is September the 2nd in Australia. September the 2nd, 2025. I am going to talk about some predictions that I've made that have come in, and then we're going to talk about the predictions that I have seen. I did predict a car accident for a politician, which has happened. Rudy Giuliani was involved in a quite horrific car accident. I don't envy him. I also saw the storm that hit Victoria last weekend. Would I pay heed to my own advice? No, I did not. I was very scared. I slept, I didn't sleep a lot on Friday night. And that was one storm, one very big storm. So the winds did cause some damage across Victoria. So I hope that you survived that. Talk about the predictions that I had for the White House right now. A couple of predictions. I predicted last year, August, September, that Trump's health would decline significantly. I had said 2 years ago that he had renal issues, kidney failure. That is playing out as we speak. I know that there is an announcement tomorrow at the White House, tomorrow your time. That is about 11 hours from this moment in time. I do feel that if the announcement tomorrow isn't about him stepping down, that is coming between now and October. I have felt that for a long time. My prediction, which was made around Inauguration Day, was number 8 is relevant, whether that is the 8th of the month, the 8th month, or 8 months' time, that he would no longer be able to reign because of his ill health. It is imminent. J.D. Vance will step in as president. That is a short reign. I'm telling you now, he is not going to be president for a long time, as in a long duration. People are fearing him. My reality, or the reality of the situation, is he's gonna clean house. He is going to clean house, and the White House will crumble. I also want to say that I feel that Stephen Miller will no longer be a factor into this administration, whoever is taking over this administration. A lot of secrets coming out between now and the end of October about people and countries' participation in the Epstein files and the cover up that went along with this. It is not just the United States. It is not just people named in the United States. There are people internationally, and I've said this for months, that are going to come undone when this list comes out. I want to talk about an announcement coming out in Downing Street that is significant. I feel that it is Starmer stumbling. It could be a declaration of aggression against another country, or it could be a declaration of him stepping down. Again, Starmer's timing is very, very limited. There is a lot of people that have built I'm trying to word this in a way that people will understand, built their allegiances on wrong information, and that is going to crumble too. I feel that there is also a balancing out of financials. Now, this is global. It feels like the stock market is going to take a massive dip and then it is going to rectify itself. That is what I see for that. And I also want to talk about Australia for a second. The gunman that is currently on the loose in country Victoria will be caught by the 10th or 11th of September. I feel that he may be shot during the pursuit of him, or there may be a standoff. It could be like a holding people hostage situation. It's incredibly sad what has happened regarding guns in Australia. We are very lucky and we have very strict gun laws. Sadly, 2 police officers lost their life in country Victoria, and one of them was the brother of a friend of mine, which is absolutely devastating. He was about to retire. There is also a wobble when it comes to Albanese. He's going to say something really stupid I think he's going to get caught on a hot mic. That's what I am being shown. Albanese is going to get caught in a hot mic. A problem with a boat. I do want to lean towards the flotilla that has yet again, another flotilla has left to go towards Gaza. I think there's going to be problems with it before it even gets near the Middle East, which isn't pleasant. And I just keep being shown a hostage situation. So I'm gonna link that to the country Victoria shooting, but I feel like there may be another hostage situation. It could be global. I feel like it's making major news. That's about it for now. I am going to get this up. I will be putting on to Patreon my deeper, dark predictions that I have seen. I will be doing a video on that. Don't forget to sign up for the October 11th event and my Evidential Mediumship event. Thank you for joining me today. You've been listening to Beyond This, and I hope you carry today's insight with you into the quiet moments, the challenges, and the mysteries of your own journey. Until we meet again, stay guided and always be willing to go beyond. Take care.